Ladies and gentlemen, SpellForce free with new player-friendly casting because we have a lot of Age of Mythology viewers right now. So let's try this cleanly because the previous attempt failed miserably. In the orange color, we have got Don Hyperion playing as the dwarves, and on the other side we've got our troll player, that guy from Earth. I might sometimes call him Galactic. That's his other name. Well, that. We restarted because I blundered that hard with my casting. Now guys, SpellForce free is a different kind of RTS game from pretty much every other. You've got a hero focused gameplay. Like a single hero here in these skirmish games. That will be the center of everything. They come out of these godstones, and then the godstones you can also use to teleport to other godstones with your entire army, by the way. You do build an army. You do have an economy. The army is super important, but so is the hero. So let's take a look at this hero here, the High Hierophant. You don't have to do the whole RPG gaming, strength, dexterity, intelligence, whatever attributes in this, but you do have to do it in the campaign where you have a party of 4. In multiplayer, you just have the one hero. You do, however, have a skill tree, a very simple one, and only with 2 branches rather than the 3 or 4 that you have in the campaign. So basically the heroes cast abilities. There's a lot of active ability casting going on throughout the game. They have focus, which determines how much they can cast. For the High Hierophant here, we've got the Scattershot ammunition skill, which makes her shoot 2 arrows with her crossbow. You also got the Bone Breaker, which makes her able to knock down enemies with her arrows. And a Brute Force pick, of course, coming in as well. And I'm assuming a focus increase for more regeneration will be coming in, and we've got a totem of flames that she can put down to help her out. But she's going up against the trolls, and the trolls have this whole special thing where all their units can be turned into a better unit over time. You just need a building for it. Currently they're fighting for the sector, which is where you are getting the resources. The entire map is broken down into these sectors, as you can see. So control the flag, then you're able to upgrade the sector and actually start collecting resources from it, as these guys are doing at the home base. The workers are generated for free over time, and as they're killed, they're just replaced, but it takes time to do so, a lot of time in fact. There are 5 resources for all the factions. The 3 base ones are basically the same. So you got wood, stone, and food. But the dwarves actually use charcoal, not direct wood. So they can't be shared between the different factions very directly. When buildings get destroyed, they leave some resources behind that you can then pick up. Well, with the charcoal, that's not possible for the dwarves, because they need not the logs of wood, but rather the actual burned thing. Anyway, stone is shared, food is shared. You can hunt, you can farm, just like in the Age of series. Hunting is faster, farming is slower, but farming is more reliable because it's forever. You can also sometimes push the huntable animals out of the way a little bit too much, and then that becomes inefficient. You have iron for the dwarves and pretty much every other faction, but the trolls actually use scrap metal. So the trolls have 2 unique resources. They can collect scrap metal, and they also have offerings, which is for their top tier units. That you can only gather in tier 3, whereas scrap metal you can get already early on. Sorry, trolls actually don't even have a tier 3, they just have 2 tiers, because of the unit upgrade system that I mentioned earlier. We'll see that later. The dwarves do have 3 tiers, however, and they can gather iron and moon silver. That's all in specific locations on the map, so it's very important how you control the map. And speaking of the map, the players are currently fighting a little bit of PvE with all these neutral creeps that if you kill, you get a lot of experience for, as well as gold, which is the only resource that heroes can really gather other than experience. As they level up, they get more skills. As they get gold, they can buy better items at the shop. So there's a lot of game systems here all together. But the workers work quite a bit like in Age of Mythology, right? You have to think about the resource split, you have to think about the drop-off distance and all that stuff, but you cannot directly command them. You can return them to the building, and then in the building you can assign how many workers you want. Alright, now I think I gave you the lowdown on this. Let's return to a little bit of normal commentary. So, getting all these sectors up for the dwarves is actually difficult because they're so expensive. We do have a stone hall, which is where the units are produced. And, you know, that's going to be useful because you need a big army to beat the much larger, much stronger trolls. But you will be able to have more of them. More of the dwarves. Now, that guy from Earth has collected a 4 level ups. 3 level ups rather. He's level 4 now. And he's got himself his purple armor as well as the weapon. So this is going to give him quite a bit more staying power in the fights. Giving him a lot of extra resistance. There's 4 damage types in this game. And also true damage if you want to count that. That exists. They call it pure damage actually. But yeah, there's magic damage, which is what the heroes do, as well as mage-based units. Then we've got strike resistance, pierce resistance on the units as well, magic resistance, and siege. Buildings actually resist everything quite well except siege. Siege they have a negative resist against, so yeah. Dwarves are slowly but surely catching up, reaching level 4 now. It's just they went for a different path and not really interested in further creeps here on the side because I think they're worried. Don Hyperion is worried that he's gonna get caught by the trolls after they finish off the Storm Wyvern. That's a pretty strong attack from the Wyvern. You have to bring a good amount of units here. The good news is that disease is one of the afflictions that this hero can apply and weakens the resistances of the Storm Wyvern so that it has negative resistance against strike damage. Well, guess what? These guys deal strike damage. But on the other side, the dwarves are doing something similar. Except they're dying too. That's not so good. Eventually, Don Hyperion will bring in more boys. In their own territory, these guys will heal. Also, out of combat units do heal. So that's a interesting little mechanic. I think the trolls are gonna go for yet another one. There's 2 wyverns. One in this corner as well. And the PvE will finally be ending shortly after this. Maybe the dwarves will also go for a second wyvern, but the actuals are pretty much healed up, so I think it's time to bring them back into the fight. Especially with that chain lightning getting tanked by the Hierophant. Now, we're gonna take a super quick look at what's happening to that guy from Earth in terms of the hero while he's doing the creeping. I'm sure he can handle this. The numbers are just very high, so nothing too exciting happening anymore. We got Plague Disease level 2 now. At level 5, you can get level 2 of the active skills, so that's also a pretty big boon to reach level 5 for. But you also unlock the ultimates down here. We've got Feast on Disease, which is a life leech for units that have disease applied. Disease does damage over time, as well as weakens resistances. Then we've got Plague Orb, which is applying damage, especially to units that have disease. We've got Plague Bolt 2, which is the spammable single target skill, just applies disease as well. And, you know, over time, I think it's a good idea to get Corpse Harvest, which is basically a corpse explosion. Any corpses on the ground can be exploded with this. Some more AoE on top of Plague Orb is always great. Don Hyperion has also reached level 5.5, working on the next level soon. And we've got Kill Shot for single target damage. We've spoken about Bonebreaker and Scatter Shot and Totems. We've got Barrage now. Now, Barrage is a very powerful cone AoE ability. The arrows will be just going through enemies. It's really brutal. And it's a really quick cooldown on it too, so you can do it over and over again. And should be pretty powerful over time. Now, we've got sentries on the field as well. Very strong single target archers. But you gotta be careful with this Plaguebringer. There's the Plague Orb. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I think the Axe Wielders are actually gonna die. Holy crap. 4 Axe Wielders dead from the Wombo combo. And this is gonna keep going. We've also got on the field now the Scrappers, so that scrap resource can be finally collected. So this is overall pretty good business. Guys, I will also add, after all these explanations... Oh wait, one more thing. This is how you upgrade the Smashers. The Smashers are the core unit of the Trolls, but you can turn them into all sorts of stuff, like Skull Crushers, like, you know, Rock Throwers, you can do whatever. And as you send them to these training structures, they're gonna be a better version of themselves, or in the case of the Thrower, a different version of themselves. Very cool. Now, I'll add one more thing for the new players. You can play this game for free. It's free to play, free to start rather, edition, where you get access to one of the core factions, which is humans, elves, or orcs. You can choose one of those and play skirmish right now against the AI, against humans, whatever. You can also try out the campaign in that free edition. It's called SpellForce Free Versus, and I'm sure the mods will put the links in the chat. So exclamation mark F2P is my command for it, for the stream viewers. Yeah, you can get that, and there's of course the full editions of the game. There are free expansion levels. There's a base game. Oh my god, that hero's gonna die. Great snipe! Great snipe by Don Hyperion, and now you can keep pushing. So there's free additions on top of the Versus, right? Versus is the core game essentially, but you get the base game, SpellForce 3 Reforced, where you have the main campaign as well as the free base races that I described. Then you've got the Soul Harvest expansion, which is the Dark Elves and the Dwarves in it, plus the base factions if you buy it separately, and the Soul Harvest campaign. It's a little smaller than the base game campaign, but it's still a really good one, and probably a better one, to be honest. And then you've got Fallen God with the Trolls and their specific campaign. All the storylines do connect, but you can play it independently if you want. You should play base game, Soul Harvest, and Fallen God in that order. Yeah, and thanks to mods for helping. Please do it on YouTube as well if you haven't already. Much appreciated. I think that's gonna be another hero snipe, but right now Don Hyperion is going through the army. By the way, the epic thing about these Skull Crushers is that holy shit. That was a corpse explosion. The epic thing about the Skull Crushers is they do cleave damage, so they hit multiple targets at the same time. So running through them like this is the last thing you want to do. What you ideally want to do is have a handful of units that tank and try to snipe them one by one with things like the sentries, but too many units have been exposed to them here, and that was really painful. Wow. Okay, well, we are in tier 2, however. At least for the dwarves, the trolls are still in tier 1, right? This is just a simple Heart of the Tribe. But the dwarves are now in tier 2, and they can make the cool stuff, like the combat balloons. So they have flying units, the trolls have as well. They could make birds that can then poke at this. I think the hero forgot to build his eye banner. Either way, that guy from Earth is a negative 53 gold because this game has a type of economy that allows you to go negative. It's a float economy, it's called. And what that means is that you really carefully have to manage how much stuff you're building. You don't have to prepay. The cost is getting deducted over time as things complete. Except for some stuff. But you can partially complete even the unit thing. You can't, however, do this with gold. So that's the exceptions, right? Like, merchants still want the full payment. But the RTS part, you can order stuff without paying. However, everything was tried to be made simultaneously, so you really gotta keep an eye on your spending and your income, because if you have 10 half-completed units, that's worse than having 5 actually completed units. Great barrage coming down, but I think the Dwarven army has to leave. What I like, however, Don Hyperion to do is to, while the melee units leave, let the range units either fire 1 more shot or 2 more shots, or just straight up micro on the weaker targets. That would be fantastic, but it's very difficult to do in SpellForce. because you just got so much going on. You have to look at all these bases and get the upgrades rolling. We have a granite hall back here, by the way. That's where that came from. And the workshop up front, which is going to get the sentry precision stance. That's going to allow the dwarven sentries to deploy and have more powerful single target shots. Holy crap, once again, the plague orb is doing a lot of work here. But hey, as long as this Hierophant is at the back, does this magic damage to all these weak magic resistance units, I think that can go a really long way. I also like the addition of the frontline units, the Earth Shapers, who can be upgraded to have a powerful shield ability that gives the others some more resistances. The Fire Golem is a little weak, but he's also going to be a pretty decent tank. However, when he's weakened and that's stacked with plague, that's gonna, oh, disease rather, that's gonna be a pretty big problem. We're gonna take a look at this from the side to see better. But I think the sentries are just overwhelmingly numerous and will be picking off the Skull Crushers no problem once the focus firing is in. Also, don't forget the balloons themselves are 200 pierce damage a shot. So they are able to do a lot of work here. My goodness, that guy from Earth is getting picked up. And I think if you're Don Hyperion, you're soon starting to think about opening up multiple fronts, but it's not going to happen because this push is just too powerful. Wow. Don Hyperion is getting a really nice win for the first game, and this is a best of 3, so I'll actually cast them all together. Get some stats at the end. Yeah, like Don Hyperion just made a lot more units, obviously, because he's dwarves, that's fine. But getting good KD as well, considering the situation, considering that the hero has actually done a lot of the killing on the troll side, is pretty significant there. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves our game 2 in this best of 3. Don Hyperion is here back in the orange color, still playing the same race, the dwarves. In fact, what's different here on Jungle Crossroad is that you can immediately pull in the easy creeps, the undead, so very, very quick level up for the hero. And on the other side, same thing happening, but it's the orcs. It's that guy from Earth. These guys are absolute top players, by the way. Love their performances so much. And for the orcs, we've got the Goblin Warlock. The Hierophant is staying on from game 1. Great use of the AoEs and immediately heading down towards the dwarves. So this is going to be some kind of pressure play. We're going to have 5 lumber mills and eventually 2 hunting cabins, but not just yet. You gotta save that wood for the next bases to go a little bit faster. You can make that later because you don't get all the workers immediately. See, 3 more are to be made, so you can wait with that. Anyway, the Mole Rider kind of pulls in the creeps, and you know, the Goblin Warlock is not that good at finding multiple creeps when they're so split up. So he wants them to be together, that way he can use his AoEs. It looks like, however, he will be taking quite a bit of a beating from these 2 bandits by himself. I'm not sure where the Warg Rider actually went. Where is the Warg Rider? Did he lose it? I think he sent it across the map and something happened. There's some gold left here from the undead. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Jungle Crossroads is one of the biggest maps in the game and certainly has the most sectors. Now, the problem with, well, at least the ones played in 1v1, right? The problem with that is that orcs have 2 workers per building, which means they're gonna scale super nicely alongside that. So we've got a situation where the orcs have a very granular economy, a lot of bases to go to, and cheap buildings. That all synergizes into a huge economic growth for the orcs, which makes them the best race on this map. Now, not to say the dwarves can't perform well, especially in the later stages of the game, but I think Galactic here, that guy from Earth, he will show you. He will show you exactly what I mean here. Meanwhile, the High Hierophant is moving up, getting to the next base. Getting quite a bit of work done here. Level 3 already. Both of them are. Let's talk a little bit about the Gobbo's skills, because realistically the Hierophant is going to do the same thing, right, as in the past game. That's just how she is. She does need some buffs on the right side, unlike the Goblin Warlock, who can use both sides very well. We've got Chain Lightning, you've seen that, bounces to multiple enemies. We got Life Bloom, which is essentially more like a Death Bloom. It's doing poison damage, which is just true damage, essentially. Doesn't get resisted, and a little bit of impact damage, as well as an interrupt, which makes your channeled ability stop. Then we've got Totem of Sparks, which is this AoE fire totem. And we've got the Healing Totem, and we've got Totemic Might, so that will apply a little boost to the Warlock and other allies nearby. Yes, indeed, there's voice acting, but I need to switch between the players to access that. So all these heroes have their unique voices, unique lines for the different kind of events that happen to them. There's also a per faction announcer, also voiced. Quite content-rich game overall. And I haven't even mentioned, outside of the campaign, there's another campaign-like thing, which you can play as co-op or alone. Best played as co-op. That's called Journey. It's basically campaign, but you know, you can go to whatever map whenever you want and get some hero progression done and build your party up. Very nicely done by that guy from Earth invading this territory here, I think. I'm gonna try to take out the Hierophant, but I'm not sure that will work. I mean, there are 3 more potions available. That's one of the most important aspects of the heroes as well. That you just get potions to save yourself. So hero versus hero typically doesn't go into the kills and whatnot. And that War Rider is also going down, so that's some free experience and free gold farming there for Don Hyperion. Far is asking if I would like to try a snow map today. Not today, because I will only be casting a bunch of replays, so this is just a replay casting stream. Because I had a massive backlog of stuff that has been sent to me. So just get to the end of that, and then I'll be off, because I have work tomorrow. But if somebody else is streaming after, then that's great. And no, I don't think I have replays from you left. But I have plenty others, so we're covered for today. You can still send me some for next time. Alright, here we go for level 5 farming. The Revenants will be definitely providing that, I think. Maybe not quite. That guy from Earth might need to go to 2 Revenant camps. He's got, however, this time the help of the Scoundrel, which are definitely helping out here a lot and getting a lot of healing. Everybody benefiting from the boost as well. And there's a pick-me-ups. But Hyperion is also working on the leveling. Nearly there. Just one more creep camp, but it's hard to come by, especially when there's a guy from Earth who's stealing them from you. Oh, there is one more Revenant Archer in the corner. Does he realize? That might be enough experience. Oh my god. I think he should check. He's not checking. Oh no. He forgot. Forgot he left one there. We got tier 2 for dwarves, by the way. That's pretty sick. Will it be possible, however, to build up a dwarven army that can compete with the orc army? Because the orcs are also tier 2, and this is where they really shine. So you've seen that the early units are kind of measly and, you know, underwhelming, right? Yeah, that's true. That's very true. And that's why the orcs have to get iron. And that's starting up right now. Some of these bases will start having iron mines. Oh my god, there's a dwarven stone pole here. Might be able to steal enough experience from here. Don Hyperion might to get level 5. And then all bets are off. That's it, that guy from Earth has it now.
What you want?
And I think he's gotten himself Chain Lightning level 2. And he's gotten himself Totemic Might level 3. No ultimates though. Not even Life Bloom. No Summoning Totem, no nothing. That's really weird. Don Hyperion might get level 5 from this now. Oh god. He just about didn't, but he got the potion. Maybe he kills off a few of these goblins and it's enough, but I'm not sure he's going for it. Should go for it. Should target the weak ones. Ah, the reload speed is so slow. Hard to micro this thing sometimes. Oh, hero's getting low. Can he snipe it? No way. No way, there's potions here. It's not happening. Yeah, Don is gonna have to leave. Then mid-fight, he will get level 5 sometime. Alright, we've got a bunch of axe wielders. There's a cutthroat. This is the opportunity that Don Hyperion would have been waiting for, in my opinion. That's the opportunity right there. The one creep. I guess there's this. That's a good camp. If you can go up there to check, I could see that working. Building up the stone pole. Doesn't check the north. That's a mistake. To be fair, there's this base to destroy and he's got a good army. But the guy from Earth is also building up. And he's got a lot of War Grinders, which in tier 2 then you can upgrade to have better attacks. He's getting the Blood of the Horde upgrade, which will unlock Hunters and Brutes. Now that's the bread and butter of the orcs. And now we're starting to have quite a bit of iron mine gathering going on. Even up here.
Alright, we'll be fast.
And here. It's like 4 bases with iron. Yeah. Plenty. You can see iron is now at 14. The food is starting to come in fast as well. And I think that guy from Earth will reach level 6 here. Almost. Not almost, actually. That's sick, because at level 6, you unlock the summoning golem. So you can summon in your very own golem. On some maps, this is actually a creep that you fight. But here, it's a boy that fights for you. Pretty good to be a goblin warlock at times.
Let's see.
Alright. Don Hyperion is still level 5 now. I'm not sure what he killed, probably some workers. That's a pretty big deal. So he must have gotten his barrage. And scattershot ammunition level 2, which will make him shoot 3 projectiles. Himself too. And he's got himself his level 2 weapon, as well as the level 3 armor. So she's a little bit tankier now and can hit harder as well. It synergizes very nicely with the scattershot ammunition, but you know, not the barrage. The barrage just does spell damage, not weapon damage. So whatever the skill says, it does. Just deleted these guys. Holy crap. Might be able to hold this fortified outpost. It's so good that Don Hyperion upgraded this base. Very nicely done by him. But the Inferno Golem is starting to burn these enemies around its aura. And that hurts a lot. Unfortunately, there's no explosion damage on it for a finale. That would be something, but... Oh, the orcs are still gonna get this? Are you kidding me? Okay, the brute got knocked down. That's huge. But there's still another brute. And there's still hunters. Still, the entire orc army basically died here. In favor of this. The axe wielders are using their ability to rapidly heal up, and they're ready to go back into battle immediately. That's a really strong ability to use in this early mid game. Unfortunately, in the late game, they still fall off significantly. That's a good ability. And I don't have to wait an hour. Will Don Hyperion attack? Now, there's all these hunters to deal with, right? They have decent range damage. By decent, I mean crazy. And they're also bleeding the enemies. So when you hit the enemies, 2 seconds of bleeding. That's true damage right there. Then we've got drummers coming in, which will boost the army further. We've got brutes, which are anti-building. They got some bonus damage against buildings. Pretty good stuff. And, you know, the dwarves actually have a lot of sectors, so if they can grow and stay alive and all that stuff, then I think they have a bright future ahead of them, guys. There's this base in the back that really needs to be captured by the dwarves, because Galactic is just having the time of his life here, honestly. Let's see if there's some upgrades coming in. For the dwarves, we don't have anything right now because he's trying to go tier 3. Oh my god. Yeah, that could be working out very nicely if he gets access to some magic damage units like Berserkers, which can be upgraded with that, or Pyromancers, which unfortunately need Moon Silver, so that's gonna take some time to set up. But if he gets magic damage, suddenly this orc army is a lot worse. Look, they have negative magical resist, but like positive everything else resist. In the case of the hunters, they have no other resists. But he does have some magic damage already in form of the Earth Shapers, so that's not too bad. And the hero does magic, so those barrages are absolutely devastating. You've seen that. Healing Totem, however, neuters a lot of this. We do have deployment for the sentries. That should explode the Bound Inferno Golem pretty quick. Hero going in once again, but I think going in too deep, in fact. The hunters will be killing her. And I'm not sure there's enough dwarves to properly hold, not against the hero and the army at the same time. And that hero is in pretty good shape now, reaching level 7, further amplifying those abilities. We've got deployed sentries once more, and perhaps the one thing they can do is, oh my god, take a chain lightning, I guess. The hunters are getting on top of them, it's too late. I think Galactic might be taking this game right here on location, guys. Tier 3 is still not done. It's such a long research time for it, 2 minutes. Big commitment to start that right there. Yeah, the remaining units are getting chain lightning, and it gets worse. We got the Vibrants coming in. Oh boy. Oh my god. This is something. I don't think the dwarves can hold, guys. We've got a balloon, but the balloon doesn't have armor against ranged. Holy. That was a really good barrage, though, I have to admit. The orcs are gonna halfway leave. Oh my god, he left half his army here. Maybe the balloons can get a kill after all. Nah, they leave. Oh, it was right here? Okay. Well, we're gonna have watchtowers now. The orc watchtowers are dirt cheap. And they help a lot because they have magic damage. Got a single berserker out, but I'm just not sure it's enough. It still does strike damage. Need the upgrade for it, and that's not cheap. It doesn't come by until you have Moon Silver. Level 7 Hierophant. Can she actually carry this game? I think it might be impossible to beat this straight up, but you know, that hero, if she can kite, if she can keep these guys out of the healing zones, this could go a long way. There is potential still in the dwarves, but I think the orcs are starting to get a little bit too strong. They are gonna have tier 3 soon as well, and I'm sure we're looking at some upgrades for them now. Yeah, we have at least one weapon upgrade. So the orcs get basically the armory upgrade business, right? You got attack upgrades as well as armor upgrades. So you can scale them a little bit better than the other factions units. No abilities though. But you do have some unique mechanics still, like the orcs can build totem towers in the late game. By the way, we're adding the scoundrel archers now. The pesterers, sorry. As for the dwarves, every unit gains an ability. That's usually their upgrades. The berserkers come with an ability though, which makes them rage, makes them fast, and the surrounding units too. Unfortunately, Don Hyperion just once again traded his entire army against this. Sure, every time he does a barrage, he picks up a few units, but then Galactic just heals them up. We're looking at 160 population against 27. 31 now. But Ravagers are getting added in, and they have, once again, sick armor, just like the Brutes. But they're a little bit more mobile. Hero dies. Very good pick off, and I think Galactic is actively thinking about finishing this game. A ton of forward towers being made. That will also get rid of any buildings nearby, which will then be leaving resources behind. That gets collected by the workers from the base. And all of Galactic's bases are due an upgrade for Border Fortress business, which gives him even more workers, even more economy, even more snowballing. By the way, you haven't seen any orc production buildings, right? Well, I forgot to tell you, the orcs build from their sectors. So every sector center is a barracks. It trains units not as fast as a barracks would, but it doesn't require workers, so you have a bigger economy. The units are not as good, but the numbers. Look at the numbers. Starting to look like a better dwarf army, but once again it's gonna get traded away against this monstrosity of an orc army. And it's full pop, so that guy from Earth actually wants to trade. He wants to lose some units so that he can pop out the rest, reset Don Hyperion to nothingness, and then still be full pop himself. Always good to trade if you're full pop. As long as it's a good trade. Obviously, duh. Now the fortified outpost will be falling here, and I think that's just too deep of a cut into Don Hyperion's army. It could have been a border fortress, but even if it was, it's just too much. And I think the hero will once again be sniped by the... Oh, gets away. That's crazy, dude. But this was a production base. There are stone halls. There are granite halls. Eat all this up as the orcs, and you'll have stone for a million years. And that stone you can then use for totem towers, which can call in global powers, essentially. So we've got Age of Mythology at home. We have global powers. You can drop in meteors. You can drop in an oil strike, which will then get detonated by the meteors. Gets everyone to burn. Oh, and of course, we got the big boys, the war trolls. We have mountain giants at home. They're just bonkers, you could say. It's because they go around the place bonking people. That's how that word works, right? I think so. GG is called, as Don Hyperion just has nowhere to go back to. And the war trolls would have wiped every base anyway. They're also pretty good against units. They can knock them down. But you gotta be careful against siege weapons from the other factions. They don't have much siege resistance. That's one thing that can become a problem there. But yeah, I said this at the beginning, like, orcs are insane on this map. Look at the resources gathered. It's insane. It's almost it's more than 50% of a gain on Don Hyperion, because there's just that many more active workers. Like, that's nuts, dude. And you got a hero lead. It's just a massive snowball situation. If you win here, you're probably Dark Elves. So it's all come to this. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Don Hyperion sticking with his guns, or his crossbows rather. He's playing as the dwarves, literally sticking to the crossbow. On the other side, we've got that guy from Earth playing as the elves. Now that's one shiny faction right there. Let's talk about it. So first off, we've got the hero, the Archdruid. This hero is all about magic. Very powerful nature magic stuff, which comes with fire, which comes with shockwaves, which comes with the psychokinetic blast. There's a Treant's Grasp, which slows down units around him. There's Nature's Gift, which heals allies and himself. Obliterate, which is a multi-projectile mini earthquake. And that was, I think, a psychokinetic blast right there, which does some heavy damage, single target, and interrupts. We've got Rodstone, which you could use on buildings to damage those as a beam. We've got Crushed Spirits, which is a anti-unit beam. It significantly nerfs the stats, especially the armor and speed of the target. Really good for sniping heroes. And we've got Ellen's Wrath. Remember all these area skills here that it's connected to? Yeah, combine it with them, and it adds either a detonation or a heal burst in case of Nature's Gift. But combine it with Treant's Grasp and Ellen's Fire, and it gives you more powerful explosion as you cast that. And the areas stick around, so the units after the explosion are still slowed and still burning. It's painful. Elves have a really good endgame as well, but they don't have a fantastic early game. So they're relying a lot on fast tier 2 builds. And sure, they have the Guardians, which are about to come out. They are both a melee and a range unit. You can swap them between the modes. It's pretty good stuff. And they're decent against buildings, more or less, but not anymore. I think they deal much reduced damage against buildings in this balance mod, that's right. Because the guys are playing on a balance mod here. So basically the elves should be forced into tier 2 play. Scout gets taken down. And one thing the elves are not good at either is building wide. So they're gonna be building tall most of the time. We're gonna see a woodcutter here, which also indicates that Captain Murphy is interested in a fast tier 2. Elves need a lot of wood. Every building costs wood, and a lot of it. So yeah, lots of woodcutters coming in. 3 of them in the main. Hunting cabin, of course. For the Orcs, it's much more about stone. Every building is built with stone. So they have a completely different economy. The trees over time disappear as they get consumed. The stone remains in the same place. Of course you can consume it, but it takes a long time, and your workers don't have a changed drop-off distance. By the way, one thing I didn't mention is that the workers have carriers as well. So some of the buildings will be just giving them to you, and they will be transporting the resources between all the operations. Whether you need the stone at the new building, it's gonna be taken there. And you basically have this Congo line of units running the economy. Comment from Harris Specs says, SpellForce 3 still is the best looking and best sounding RTS out there. Shame it's not as popular as the Age series. Yeah, true. It's definitely up there. I just wish we had as many players as the Age games. That would be epic. And it's fun. It's really fun. You guys should absolutely try the campaign if you haven't already. You can't go wrong with it, honestly. Alright, workers are now being picked up, so we're finally seeing some harassment play. Which the AOM players love so much, right? Certainly, workers can be cut down here too. To diminish the other guy's economy. The heroes are particularly good at it. Although they'll be sacrificing their ability to grab flags as well as creeps, which will slow down the leveling, but it hurts the economy, so it's a balancing act. Good snipe there. Totem gets taken out. Did this Hierophant actually buy totems from the shop? Or just potions? Just potions. Spent all her money on it. And that's gonna be it, because obviously when you're defending with a strong single target hero like the Archdruid, then you'll be having limited success with with worker harassment. You'll just be burning your potions really, for the most part. Now this map has Medusas as the strong creep camp. We're doing a pretty good job here against the axe wielders, I think. But here's the thing: 2 of them didn't get pulled, so Don Hyperion is having the time of his life cutting them down, getting a lot of XP out of this. But Galactic comes in and he'll be dealing with the other 2 momentarily. Unfortunately for him, Don Hyperion is on the job. Ooh, nice snipe there. Very good snipe. Wait, he doesn't care. He doesn't want to fight for the flag, because the Archdruid is just too strong, I guess. But if the Medusa are also helping, wouldn't you want to fight it? That's the question. I think you would. I think you should. I think you could. Also, I really love this. The visuals on this map are just impeccable. Look at the freaking reflections of the units. Like, this isn't even ray trace. This is pre-ray tracing. Imagine that. And Medusas are giving these axe wielders the business, but they're also getting shot at pretty hard. I'm pretty sure they'll be taken down before the elves can come in and do too much damage, but the slow area around them blocks the Hierophant from picking up the 1 potion there. Still, there's plenty work to do here, and I think the Archdruid might actually fall. Holy crap, the regeneration is so good on the potion, my goodness. Just out healing all these units like it's nothing. Hierophant by herself won't be able to finish this off. Healing is just a little too much from the Archdruid, but at least forced to consume all of the potions. There's no more. As for Don Hyperion, he has 7 more potions. Nobody got this base. Leaving it for next game. There's no next game, this is the best of 3. Somebody will lose. We're going to tier 2. We are in tier 2 for the elves. So Shrine of Growth upgrades are coming soon. That's a woodcutter, sir. That's not an iron mine. Why would you put it in the iron mine spot? No. No. I guess there is an iron mine coming here. Now, being tier 2 and elves is great news for that guy from Earth. This is where the elves really shine, and the dwarves are a close match, but not really. Right, the elves are just insane in tier 2. They could stay there almost forever if tier 3 wasn't also good. So you could definitely go tier 3 with elves to make your tier 2 army even better, but you don't necessarily need to get tier 3 units to make your army better. Unless you want mobility or mages. That's all options. This iron mine can be very easily destroyed or even denied. All the miners are getting killed, so this is going to be very delayed for sure. Carrier trying to come over here and pick up the resources that were already brought here for the building. So definitely Don Hyperion is doing a lot of work here, denying overall economy to that guy from Earth. But here comes the defenders, and there will be iron. However, the sentry's already gotten to work here in the near the iron mine. Wait, he's not shooting. What is going on? You're in range. Why aren't you shooting? Oh no. More iron denial happening. Just slightly delaying the tier 2 of the elves from kicking in. There will be, however, some deliveries from these miners. Right, the workers are getting back to making iron mines now. There's a lot of wood that has been stockpiled. Needs to be spent. And iron mines are the perfect way. They are so expensive, but so worth it. what I'm not seeing right now from that guy from Earth is actually a lot of groves. It's just the one. You'll need more of that, that's for sure. Panzer workers getting taken down. Both players on level 4. Don Hyperion is much closer to level 5. Both players kind of need level 5, but the Druid is a little bit more functional without it. So at least you still have your AoE heals, at least you still have your AoE zones. Oh! She got out. That's nuts. Well, to be fair, there were all the potions, so no excuse to lose the hero. Alright, the Hierophant is joining this, but the elves are back. A quick knockdown on the hero would be great here to try and finish the Shrine of Growth. And I think that's exactly what we're gonna see here. The elves are getting kicked out of this spot too. Not much iron in the bank, but enough to make a few iron units. I really like the totem here on the flag to prevent the elves from building it easily. Alright, there come the groves. And we should be seeing wardens as well as protectors soon. Very powerful units. Shouldn't be long now. With Don Hyperion now controlling the majority of the iron bases, it's just a matter of denying this. If that can be done, and this is a very hard to defend location by the way, especially if you're numerically behind, I think that could go a long way to the Doors winning even, maybe. Okay, this is a hero takedown. Like, we gotta see the sentries turn. Where are you going, Don Hyperion, man? He could have fought this. I guess he really doesn't want to fight the iron units later. So best take down the iron mines and then it's all Gucci, right? In theory. They are coming. It's a whole Congo line of them. There's the Warden, super powerful spear thrower. Very strong single target damage. That guy from Earth has teleported in to try and defend this now. And some Dwarven units will die. Which is once again a good trade for the elves. Get rid of some guardians and kill some sentries, that's always good. Especially once the tier 2 units start coming out. But there's more dwarves where they came from. I just don't think they have enough right now to actively fight this. Maybe they should fight though. Just the guardians, pick them off, run. Yeah, the wardens are doing great. There's nobody gone shopping. Oh yeah, that guy from Earth actually has the blue armor now. Just giving him an extra 10% resistances. Don has nothing, just money for potions, I guess. That's probably what he's gonna do. Okay, finding the reinforcements is big. Should be a lot of good pickups here. Very nicely played. But he has to defend this. It's very important to defend this sector. Super important. Going after it now. And we see the addition of the Fire Golem finally. Now that's a nice siege weapon. Needs to be upgraded to become a siege weapon though. Let's see what other upgrades we have. So far I think nothing. But there are a lot of stone halls as well as granite halls. So that's a pretty big deal for sure. And they're gonna be making combat wounds. Still no level 5 for that guy from Earth. This is a very, very long level 4 extended fighting game. Which makes the RTS units just that much better here. So whoever has the big army has a massive advantage until level 5 is unlocked. Then the heroes can play a much larger role. Gives this map a very different dynamic. I think Don Hyperion needs to really remember that there's a base up north. If he does, he's level 5, and that guy is not. Earthman. Literally just need those zombies, yeah. That's it. Sure, this sector will be lost, but who cares? Get this for it. Get level 5, come back. Fight harder. It's gonna be great. We still haven't seen a single protector. Now, protectors are basically hoplites, okay? But they have an aura. An aura that boosts other units, called the phalanx. Well, I said they're like hoplites. Really tanky units. They can be upgraded to have AoE as well. They're absolute Giga Trixies. Oh, that's a really nice knockdown and barrage, but the hero dies for it. Because, well, that's what happens when you get close to Wardens. However, a lot of the Elven units will die here. Especially with that... with the Fire Golem's attacks. Also cleaving between them. Wow. Oh, that didn't cleave, actually. Not the third target, anyway. Dawn's making her back at the front. And was somehow able to get a handful of kills, but giving Galactic the level 5 hero, that's dangerous business right there. Especially as the elves are starting to approach tier 3. One more base upgrade is going to be available here. And then they're going to be starting to think about tier 3. They might max out their population upgrades first though. That's a ballista. What's it doing here? I guess shooting down the fire golem is a really good idea. And there's a Volmo combo, but we've got a beautiful pre-split from Don Hyperion. My goodness. Finally, there's protectors as well. And they're going for it. Oh, this game is so good looking. Another Volmo combo getting set up. No focus for it. No detonation. And the dwarves are dominating the fight despite the addition of the protectors. Well, guess what? They don't resist magical damage, even though together they can go up to 45% of pierce and strike resists as the phalanx buff activates when there's multiple. They don't boost magic resists, so that's a pretty big deal overall. Archdruid is getting low and he gets sniped by the barrage. Oh my god. Balloons are starting to be lost now, so maybe the dwarves can't push this base just yet. They might have to retreat or just focus on the army. That's probably option B as the right one. But picking off these expensive iron units, definitely a great idea. The more the better. So there are potions here in the shop. I definitely think Don Hyperion should go there. Yeah, very nice. Getting some more potions now. Shrine of Growth is slowly but surely dying. Oh my god, the ballista. Such a good attack. I'm not sure that Don Hyperion can notice it. Okay, he does. Because he can see them. He is getting the attack alerts because he can see them. Wait, I don't think he's getting attack alerts. Look at the minimap. He just noticed. Right. That's unfortunate. There's the Volmo combo. Everybody is eating it. My god. Oh, the Obliterate on top. Weakens everybody. And we've got the Wardens. There's no high ground bonus in this game, but the stairs do act as a very nice choke point for the Protector Phalanx to hold here. They are receiving a good amount of healing also, And we've got another fire zone right on top of the sentries. The golems can't push through them as they are deployed right now. Hero is getting sniped, however, with all the ranged firepower that there is for the dwarves, and the hero does get away. The sentries actually form a wall themselves, and Don Hyperion is going to take the game as well as the series. Oh, there were 3 more balloons there, my god. That's a lot of air force here for the dwarves. Very nicely done. Elves are scary, man. Elves are scary, but Don Hyperion is more scarier. It's insane. Very well done. Good win in the best of 3 against Galactic here on the eventual balance patch mod.